With food prices skyrocketing, can we still get a delicious meal in Vancouver on a shoestring budget? Join us as we visit some of the most delicious yet overlooked and Michelin-worthy restaurants in Vancouver. Be the first to find out about these hidden gems before everyone else hears about them.
My name is Amelie Tuinawin. I'm a restaurateur, mom of two, and I love to gather and amplify positive stories. My family and I created an award-winning restaurant in Vancouver, and I would love to see more heirloom recipes shared and showcased around the world.
I am Trudy Tran. I am a self-proclaimed foodie who is always in search of my next great meal. This pursuit has led me to many great adventures. I've eaten everything from street food vendors to Michelin star restaurants across the globe. And now, I'm ready to showcase what Vancouver has to offer.
We are both on a journey to find local neighborhood gems with delicious eats and human stories and connection behind the food. We'll travel through struggles and triumphs behind Vancouver's hidden food scene. Watch, follow, subscribe, and share! So Trudy, now that we've done like a whole series, docu-series of local neighborhood gems, has your perception and your reason behind everything changed? Like why we're doing this?
I think the why has remained the same, but I think my perception of things have changed. I think we started out because to focus on food and only food, because that's what I do. I'm a food photographer and I love to just showcase food. But as we started writing this, it became much more about the people and the people behind the food. And now it's become a community project. It's all about the community, the people who have embraced it, the people who cook within it, the people who work within this community as we progress in the program.
Cô Phúc tên Phúc, quán phở Long.
Bác tên Vân, hồi xưa là bác mở tên này là vợ Vân, rồi cái sau bác để là cho con của bác.
This one là 32 years. Nấu ăn từ hồi Việt Nam đến giờ.
Tell us about yourself and where, where your family's from and...
So I'm second generation Chinese Canadian. I was born in Vancouver and my father was born in Vancouver. My mother was born in Alert Bay.
This industry, it takes a lot from you, right? So like what are your sacrifices? What did you have to sacrifice?
Well, time. Time's everything. You spend more time here than you spend it at home. So this is home, and this is everyone here. Customers are family, right? And you treat everyone as family. And it's just, you got to have it. It's a different breed to own a restaurant and run it.
Right? Okay, so the restaurant industry has taken a lot from you. What has it given you?
Passion. That's what it's given you. It's one word. You have to have passion to be in this, right? It is a job, but it's more than a job.
Tell us about yourself.
I came here when I was 18. Actually, my parents escaped Vietnam went to Hong Kong, and we lived there for a number of the year. And then when I came to Vancouver, at that time I know it's not many Vietnamese restaurants around the town. And then especially like me, I don't speak English at the time also. I got the job at one Vietnamese restaurant. It's on Main and 20. It's called Pho Hoang. And I start my career in the restaurant, and I love it, and I think I'm so lucky.
Okay, this is our herbs.
Okay.
And fresh parsley.
Okay.
I'm only going to tell you that much.
Oh. Okay, maybe when the camera shuts off, you'll tell me.
You have to come around my table at home first to learn that.
One of the reasons that we're still in business is a promise. Like my grandfather had a dream. He really wanted to, be successful in bringing Chinese food to Vancouver. Like that was one of his dreams. And he's no longer with us, but one of his promises that my dad made to him is he would continue Flamingo, right? And And one of the reasons he's done that is around our employees. Some of them have been with us forever. Actually, one of our cooks in there, her husband got off the plane, didn't know what he was going to do, met my grandfather, and is employed. And his wife, actually worked for Flamingo and was looking for a job again. I opened here, and now she's working for Little Bird. So it's one of the things my dad has promised is like, we will continue to open Flamingo to make sure the employees that have been with us for 40-something years will continue to have work until they're ready to retire.
I love how every dish that you're sharing today really takes like a special ingredient from the Philippines, and just like the whole ecosystem of eating at small local restaurants that are diverse is that you're also supporting the small local grocers that carry these ingredients that we source from.
Yep.
And so like we kind of keep it very local.
Exactly.
From starting from like how the animals raised or the herbs grown to like where you can get your condiments and sauces to then feeding into a local restaurant. And then by eating and supporting local, you are supporting that whole local chain.
Pretty interesting, because when you have a plate of food at a restaurant, you don't think that much deeper in behind it. You look at this piece of food and you think, well, let me take a nice photo and let's post it up on social media. But behind it, a lot of people had made a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of hard work went into that plate of food. And for a restaurant to have survived for so many years wasn't because of luck. It was so much more than luck. It was so much more hard work, and a lot of time was put into it.
Yeah.
And you should know, you come from a family with a restaurant background, and you've experienced your parents being in the industry.
Absolutely. And like just going through like the whole, like the series, right? Like we started with passion at Helen's Grill. It was passion that drove them, and then there was grit, and then there was just like a sense of duty. So there's so many reasons why, but what stood out for me the most is that every single person that you ask, they would say like the biggest sacrifice was time away from the family. And when you ask them why they do it or what's the biggest gain, it's the community, it's the family. So it's funny how you sacrificed your time to leave your family to do this, but then at the end the biggest reward is your family.
So now that you have a kid, does it make, restaurant business takes a lot of hours away from you?
Yes.
Does it make it harder to spend time with your family, and do you feel like you've got to sacrifice?
It's a little bit hard at the beginning, so it take a lot of time to balance our work and families. So I think I did pretty well. So I have some time to spending with them.
Là hy sinh là mẹ phải chịu rất là cực khổ để lo làm. Even mẹ thấy bỏ hết thời giờ vô, công sức vô để tập trung vô lo cho công việc đó, để lo cho mình, làm cho con của mình đó, để nuôi con mình, thì mẹ phải hy sinh cho các con của mình không có được, nhiều khi cũng không có lo được vẹn toàn, là tại vì mình phải tập trung để làm nhà hàng. Thì cái đó là mẹ hy sinh, là nhiều khi mẹ cũng có không có đủ thì giờ để lo cho các con được chu toàn. Cái đó là cái hy sinh của mẹ lớn.
Take it from me, I would say time away from my family.
How did that feel as a child?
I understand now, and I think maturing and understanding the sacrifices. As a parent, you have to raise your kids and spend all the time you have with your kids, but you have to choose whether you have food on the table or not. And so the sacrifices of, being raised by my older sister, or not having mom and dad time, it is what it is. You come home, you have dinner at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and that's normal hours for us. And so the sacrifice is there, but we appreciate and we thank them, and we don't blame them now that where we are today. Because without those sacrifices, you wouldn't be able to take a step forward.
whether it's in our life now or in their lifetime, but along, I think any family and any successful business or restaurant, there's been a sacrifice somewhere down the line.
And I get it now too, because when I grew up, like I couldn't figure out why my parents ran the restaurant. I couldn't figure out why they even wanted to be in that business. And like, I don't know if you know this, but me and my siblings and I, we wanted to avoid the restaurant. We went to school, we didn't want to work there, we didn't want to be associated with the restaurant. We didn't even want to eat the food, right?
Yeah.
Like I think it kind of traumatized us growing up. And what happened was that somehow in our later years, something turned us around, whether it's having my own family or or having a death in the family. Something, circumstance, some switch in you brings you back, and I get it. I get why people continue. I get why all these like small independent restaurant owners, these immigrants that are struggling through the restaurant and just business can come back. It's because they're building something for their own family, or some might come into the restaurant business without family and they create one there.
My first dream it came to
when you were 18.
When I worked at Prohang, I did dream, and actually the dream came to, and if another one, maybe it's too much, but I don't mind to tell you guys. I want every single city have a restaurant.
We like it. We like it.
So that is my dream, right?
So bé này muốn hỏi á, là bác Vân của Phúc bây giờ biết á, là mình mở tiệm á, là mình hy sinh rất là nhiều thời gian với con cái mình, nhưng mình được giống như thoải mái sống, mình lo được. Nếu mà bác Vân có sự lựa chọn á, để làm lợi từ đầu á, bác Vân có làm
không làm tại mình cái này
không làm
rồi mình không đổi cái nghề khác được.
Không, ý con hỏi là nếu mà Bắc Vân xây đi giống như trở lại 50 năm trước,
làm lại,
30 năm trước làm lợi á, Bắc Vân có làm lợi giống như vậy hay là Bắc Vân sẽ thay đổi cái gì?
Làm lại
cái nghề nhà hàng thôi.
Làm lại, tại vì
Still do the restaurant business.
Cái nghề nhà hàng là cái nghề gia truyền
gia truyền con nối
từ cha mẹ.
Nhưng mà tại vì cô Phúc cũng thích nấu ăn. Thích làm bếp.
So they would redo it because he's like, this is my third generation, like his mom, then him, possibly his kids, and she says she loves cooking. She's always
như vậy là tấm lòng cô Phúc nấu cho con mình ăn.
I think the biggest gain is to be able to still work beside my family. Family is really important. One of the reasons why I turned around and left medical school and decided to come back into hospitality and into restaurants was because of family, because my father passed away. So that was one of the reasons of the many, and so coming back into here and being able to work alongside my mother and my sisters, and then meeting like all my friends and family here. Like these is my family. My chefs, my cooks, my bartenders, my servers and managers, they're all my family, and I mean it.
I think food transcends time. I think, you know, like how your kids grow up is so different from how we grew up. You know, we had TV, they have iPads. We went out to play, they're in some gym somewhere, you know, some fancy gym. But one thing that hasn't changed is that bowl of noodles that your daughters are eating today is the same bowl of noodles that have brought you comfort years ago. And same thing, you know, the dim sum that Jonathan's kids are eating today is the same dim sum that he ate years ago with his grandfather. And that has never changed. And I hope that some of these food items continue on so that, you know, the same love can be shared through generations. In the Ann and Cheese story, we have the best case scenario. We have, you know, an old mom and pop shop that, you know, where the parents laid the foundation, and then the second generation or the next generation has taken over and has made it, you know, taken it on a global stage and made it thrive. But then there are still stories of restaurants like Pho Long where the family is struggling to pass the baton on, where they're struggling to have their children see the sacrifices that they've made and be happy to take on the project, take it away from their parents who's now are aging. And so if that's the case, then we see restaurants that are beautiful and amazing. Eventually they won't live on because the next generation can't see it, and sometimes they can't see it because of the fact that they lost a lot of time with their parents as a kid, and that's the reality of it. Yeah. And then of course there are great stories like Joe's, where the family can work together, complementary of each other. You do operations and I do marketing, and they just, they've never run a restaurant before, and they can take that another business model and just do the same with the restaurant, and have been able to successfully run a restaurant and have gotten closer as a family. Okay, yeah. Can you see the jump there?
Did you capture his face?
Fully Did
we capture his face? I didn't know if it was Trudy screaming or you screaming.
It was like a nightmare.
I know.
It was a nightmare.
Cheers. Okay, let's take a bite.
That's yum.
Hello. Okay, Auntie, we have come to help you make pho.
Yeah.
I said the noodle.
I am a chef. I'm very good at assembling things.
No, don't we go like this?
Dude, don't
like that,
keep that in the bowl.
Like that.
Oh yeah. Oh, very nice, very nice.
Oh,
you are a chef. You can cook noodles.
Oh, Auntie, would you like to try? You want to try? Thử ngon không?
How is it?
Here. You try. We're too excited. We need to eat now. What do you think? Auntie, okay. You're Auntie. Chị Hương. It's my happy place.
I still have so much energy,
So much energy.
I still can work
Beautiful, lots of energy.
from
My husband's so lucky.
I think she's the most
well-rounded.
kind of like the second copy of
Cut. This is not the cliche show.
This is supposed to be comedy. So cool. So you know what's so good here? I'm like obsessed with their Montreal smoked meat.
Hey guys.
Thank you. Hi Nick.
How's it going?
You remember me?
Yes. How could I not forget?
This one.
Oh, this one. Wow, it looks like it's from the 80s, but how come it says grand opening October 1st, 2022? Are you lying to me?
Oh my gosh, another scene of Lady and the Tramp.
You're the tramp.
No, I'm the lady. So Elaine, our good friend, is coming to taste test, right? She's never had really. Have you had this before?
I haven't.
See?
This looks stunning. Absolutely stunning.
And our good friend Isha. So
Isha.
Right? You know.
Usually you want to start with the rice, right?
The rice.
The rice, okay.
Oh,
And then-
with her hands.
And then,
Okay.
And then
I'm
you
grabbing
grab-
it.
Oh.
And then I have
And
rice.
So just like
And then-
pour it like a small
bowl. I mean small
like
ball.
this. Yeah.
And then
You can. Yeah.
Huh?
Anything goes. Anything goes. Yeah.
Yeah, anything
really,
goes.
Anything goes. Like any combination.
What's your hopes and dreams? Where do you want to take this? Like, where do you want Munchies to Michelin to go?
I'm not sure
Where do you guys want it to
where
go?
do you guys want it to go? But wherever it goes, we hope that all the stories will have resonated with everyone, and we'll have shared a little bit more into the restaurant industry, so that the next time you eat food, the next time you order something at a restaurant, appreciate it a little bit more. And one of the things I think are our 9 restaurants, one thing it did highlight is that the Vancouver food scene is made of immigrants. It's made up, it's the foundation
From
of
Europe, from Asia, from
wherever
Africa,
again. Yes,
from
from all
South
over the world.
America.
And all these people, when they came to Canada, when they came to Vancouver, they created food because food is what connects them to their culture, to their country. And it's that reason of longing that we have such a diverse restaurant industry today. And so, you know, when you're eating that food, just remember, it's got a lot of love, it had a lot of sacrifice.
Had a lot of bloodshed and tears.
Bloodshed and tears.
To go in it. And so if you eat something good, share the story. And I think this goes for any business, right? Like it doesn't even have to be the restaurant. Like when you walk into any kind of service or any business, it's like they're taking away time to be there.
100%.
So I think, wow, Munchies 2 Michelin is about kindness.
It's about love, not just love for our food.
Love
love your
people.
community.
Love your family. Call your mom.
Yeah, just, you know, share love.
So much of the reason why I love Chinatown, it's all of those memories, you know, and you don't even realize how important they are until later.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a photo. This is me.
Why I did it in the first place.
If you want to watch more, then remember to follow,
like,
subscribe, and share.